Hello once again. Welcome everyone. This is Jason Alexis here at Display Church. We are here with Piotr. Piotr, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Jason. I'm excited to be here, especially thinking about the topic that we are going to cover today.
Excellent. And Piotr have been working really hard on this new feature that we're going to talk about. We think it's very powerful. So let's actually just dive right in. And then if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and add those to the comment area and we will try to get to it. If not, on the call, definitely we would get to it after the call. All right. So thank you for doing that. So we're going to talk today about our advanced filtering. Advanced filtering. Now, our advanced filtering, it's a very powerful tool, and we will dive into that. I think it makes your ability to create unique calendars um, and widgets, etc., to customize it based on your digital needs. All right, and we're gonna explain that a little bit of what we mean. But just a quick recap: if this is the first time that you are hearing about us, I just want to take 1 minute. You can time me on our quick recap. So, Display Church, we aim to make your data pretty. So, most people have apps that they already use. For example, church management systems like that we integrate with CCB PushPay, Planning Center, Breeze, church management system, a Tidely product, as well as if you don't use one of those, if you use a Google Calendar, we all integrate with that. We pull those data and we try to make it pretty. Not just pretty, we look at best practices and the digital strategies that allows you to reach more people and engage in a way that makes sense. All right. The other thing is we are optimized for conversion. So everything that we do, every innovation that we add, we think about how does this allow you to implement a strategy that connect to more people, whether you want them to show up to events or attend your group. So again, it's not just about how it looks, but we also allow you to easily brand all of our widgets, and make it very easy to use. No coding is required. You can almost set it and forget it. So it's not something you have to continuously maintain. All right. We have continuous improvement based on your feedback. As you can see in this webinar, you would see that this is actually one of the feedbacks that you guys have had on how to make your data much more advanced. And as we mentioned, the ability not just to create a one size fit all solution, but to customize it. So if you have different ministries and groups and different target audience, you can customize your data to make it unique for that target audience. That you embed our widgets on your websites or your internet and allow you to do that. So quickly, the three products we have: the groups widgets product that integrates with Planning Center and CCB. We also have our calendar product that integrates with CCB, Planning Center, Google Calendar, as well as and yeah. So and today we are going to dive into the advanced filtering a little bit. So this is actually an example here of what one of our clients have asked us about. We have a feedback forum where you can post comments. So this just captures some of that feedback. Many of you guys have asked us similar questions via our support system as well. And what you have seen is that people would like the option to create unique rules that determines what data shows on their particular calendar view or group widgets, etc., even event alert. So we have now allowed you to do that. So I'm going to quickly do a version just kind of explaining these are two requests that were asked, and we're going to look at the first one quickly, the second one, and then Piotr later on is going to dive into how does this actually work for those who want to understand how to set it up, as well as an advanced setup, especially for Planning Center users and some of the additional new options that is required for that integration. So let me just quickly switch my screen over here. So what you can see on this particular screen is that we, in the first question that the person asked, they wanted to do something that says, let's say group number one is this, and So you can see you can switch from and to or. So they wanted to do group one. Group is first touch response, and group is also kid zone parents. So that is this and that. And we can, if you understand the and or logic, it may make sense. We're going to explain that in a little bit. But you can do that as one option, and then you can add a separate group that then filters this out with a not or is not sort of operator. So again, you can do this, and group is not. You can also do this and this, or group is not that. So the two levels of flexibility, the two levels of filtering, where you can keep adding additional filters. Again, you're not limited to just one of those. You can keep adding information, and not only just groups. You can keep adding campuses. You can add in this particular example, right? So again, the flexibility we have created where you can pretty much create almost any condition you want without having to, what we used to do before, we just had a simple drop down, which is not shown here, and you would have to pick all the groups that you want to include. You did not have the option to exclude. So that's just one example of, this is what we are talking about, and this is just one example of what we are saying in terms of what you can do. The other question that the person asked, and this is a feedback, it would be super helpful if we could do all the groups except one. All right. So that again, if you use the is not condition, you can possibly do that. And I'm doing a quick example here live. But again, if you wanted to do something like this group is not this. So instead of having to manually type in all the groups and leave out the specific group or campus or tag that you don't want to include, you can say group is not that. And that would allow you to say include all the other groups. All right. I believe so. So that's just, again, just two examples of what you guys requested. And you can begin seeing the power of this filtering. So again, this filtering applies to work with our calendar views, our group widgets, as well as our new event alerts product. So it's, again, very, very powerful. We know there is no other company or integration that offers this level of advanced filtering that allows you to create something that is very powerful for your use. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Piotr. He's going to talk about how it actually works. So I've given you a demo of how that works. He's going to talk a little bit more on the technical setup for those who would like to understand how that works, as well as he's going to show you an advanced example of what that would entail, specifically for the planning center users. All right, there's a unique setup there and a unique request that we have had, so we'd use that as an example. But again, this applies to almost all of them. So, Piotr?
Okay, so time for techie stuff, and I'm a techie person. That's why I'm so excited to explain all of these, hopefully in an easy and understandable way. So to recap the filtering that we've introduced, first, it works with any of our widgets that we offer. Second, we, as a Display.Church, show all of the items by default unless they are filtered. And third thing is that this is most important to remember, that we are using sets to filter out events. Now, Jason has showed you an interface and examples how it works in a real example. Now, here is a breakthrough of the interface that we've created. So you can create filter groups, and this here one is a filtering group and says approval status is approved and tag is DC. So every of these items here, 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 and here are rule or conditions. You can name it rule or a filter condition. You can join these filtering groups by this conjunction here, and you can create any number of conditions within a group. And with this simple button here, you can create any number of groups. So it's kind of powerful. and it does not limit you to do any filtering you want. Also here it's not highlighted, but here this word is may say as well is not, if you would like to exclude a particular value from a condition. Now, I've mentioned that it works with sets, so let's do a quick recap about the sets. Imagine this rectangle is all of your events or all of your groups. Let's say events because we will be working with events in this webinar. Imagine that this area here represents all of your events that you have in your CHMS or in your Google Calendar. If you don't filter your events with filters, all of these will be shown. And this is not always something that is desirable. That's why we are creating a rule. And a rule, like group is first group, like this one here, that rule creates you a subset of all of your items here. So it means that it will show only these items that meet the filtering criteria. So the condition is group is first small group. It creates a subset of your all items, and these items outside of the circle will not be shown in your calendar. Now, this is kind of limiting, so you can fine-tune this filtering with additional rule. And here in this example, we have group is first small group and tag is DCE, which means that it will create two subsets, like small group events, first subset here, and then another subset here, and it will join these two conditions with and, which means that only this intersection will be considered. Everything else outside will be ignored and not shown on your calendar, which means that if you have an event that is tagged with DC, but it's not in a small group, then it will not be shown. Now, while it's kind of limiting, you can do some more regular filtering with or conjunction, which means that it creates two subsets, as in previous example. First, it creates small group events. Then it creates subset with DC tag. But with this OR condition, it will pull all of these and any of small group events or tag events, or all events that are tagged DC will be considered. Anything else here from your data will not be shown. If it's coming to exclusion, you can easily exclude using the previous example. You can quickly exclude all of these and show everything else by changing this criteria here. You just simply change this group is not first small group, or the tag is not DC, which means that these two subsets that meet this criteria, but everything else like exceptional. So you'll see everything here, every item here outside of this two subsets. Now, unreal use case scenario, this is something that I'm kind of thrilled about, because actually this advanced filtering is coming from a couple of requests from our forum, but also a particular support ticket. And actually it kind of applies to one use case that we've been asked about. So here you may see my PCO calendar, and here you may see my DC calendar. And my DC calendar is made in a way that it will show only approved events that are tagged show on website. So I can have a calendar that I embed on my website, and I want to here broadcast all of the events that I want people to see on my website, or a particular web page on my website. So it's not a brainer, kind of easy thing to set. However, here you may see with this overwhelming number of items, I have tons of events. And let's imagine that I have a staff member that is planning an informal meeting. And this informal meeting, as every meeting that joins all people, has a coffee in offering. So a staff member has booked a resource, a coffee machine, because something has to do with coffee, right? However, this event here falls into the same date as our regular coffee meeting that happens the very same date and the very same time. And in PCO, it creates a conflict and it needs to be resolved. And because this informal meeting is in conflict, it has a status pending, which means that it will not be shown here on my calendar because I am only showing the events that are approved. Now, it might be not a problem. However, it might be a case when I want to inform all of the people that I have this informal meeting. However, I need to wait for an administrator to resolve my conflict. And sometimes it's not an issue really because we have a shared coffee machine and these events might happen like next to each other, like two different rooms that are very close to each other. So basically this coffee machine isn't a problem. However, from administrator perspective, it is, and someone has to resolve that conflict, either to grant me access to this coffee machine or not to grant, so or decline. So how I can manage this issue? And it's very simple with this advanced filtering. I can just add a new filtering group and say, I want to show all of these, that's fine. But also I include tag is show on website. However, I will add approval status that is pending. So it translates to show all of the approved and tagged as shown on the website, or pending, but also tagged as shown on the website. So if I'll update my calendar now, I'll see my informal meeting on my calendar while it's pending mode. And is it that exciting, Jason?
Oh yes, 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 and that's something again people have been asking us about. Just really, really so powerful. Yeah. All right. Um, Piotr?
Yeah, so now just to demonstrate you quickly, excluding events. So here I'm showing all of these events that are approved and tagged as shown website. But let's imagine that I want to reverse that. I want to show anything but not to show on website because maybe I have a hidden calendar that it's not published and it's not available, it's not publicly available, but I might share this with my team members. So what I can do, I can change this condition to say tag is not show on website, which means that I'll see everything else except these coffee events. Yeah, an informal event is gone because it was being removed from pending. So I'll update this, and now I see everything else except this one here. So this is a quick demonstration of excluding events.
All right.
Jason?
Well, thank you. And hopefully you can see what is possible. And I think you would only see what's possible if you actually dive in and give it a go. All right. So I think our advanced filtering gives you the flexibility to possibly create any specific use case that you so desire. And if you're not a current client, you can use the invite code Display.Church during sign up to get 90 days to try it out. And if you're a current client, we definitely recommend giving it a try if you have not already done so. This has been released for a few weeks now, so some of you have probably already using it. We just wanted to show you the advanced features that we offer, and especially some additional options that is available for the planning center users based on some requests and based on how their data is set up. And we really appreciate you for joining this webinar. If you have any questions, please send us an email at help@displaychurch.com or chat with us on our website. So again, Piotr, thank you for your time. And he's the man behind this. Thank you for your work. And I appreciate you joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I had a great day.
All right. Bye, everyone.